Mr.
No,
Professor
Gopal
Gopal
sir.
Naik. Got it.
Okay, so good evening all. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome all the dignitaries and guests who are present here to attend this webinar. On behalf of Srishti Academy Development Foundations, that is a Section 8 company under Startup Odisha. We deal with IT and IT infrastructures and all type of startups. And Bhubaneswar's Metropolis Management Associations. I offer my regards to all the eminent speakers and participants joining us. The schedule of the webinar will focus on the topic, the evolving role of corporate leadership in transforming startups to unicorn. It will include more issues to address the full address of the topic with the upcoming speakers. As per the National Statistics Office NSO, it was published some of the article in the newspaper of Business Standards in 2nd August 2021 that the unemployment rate rose to 13.3% in July to September 2020 as compared to 8.4% in the year ago, according to the labor force survey by the National Statistics Office. The interesting finding here is that the unemployment is more in urban youth than the rural counterpart. To address this crisis, as this unemployment badly hits the youth of the country, it is the high time to motivate the youth to start their own entrepreneurial ventures under various schemes by the Government of India like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Stand Up Odisha, Samrit scheme, etc. Leaders of the startup needs to inspire people to believe in the purpose, the reason why the company exists. To succeed in the unpredictable world of the startup, everyone must believe in what they're doing and what they're working towards. We know that corporate leaderships plays a very important role in the performance of the unicorn. Now, it is more important than for a startup business simultaneously to build a customer base and scale the business and to motivate the budding entrepreneurs to get success from the startup to the unicorn. With this word, I welcome all the respected dignitaries to carry forward the webinar. Now I request our working president of Bhubaneswar Metropolis Management Association, Mr. Syed Makbul Ali sir, to speak few words and to welcome our guest.
Thank you, Jyoti. Namaskar, good evening to everybody. May I take this opportunity first to welcome our past president, Sri Sanjeev Hota, our convener, our executive vice president, Professor Gopal Naik, Mr. Saroj Sahu, our chairman of Srishti Academy, Dr. Misra, and our prominent and eminent speakers, Ms. Sangeeta Mahapatra, who's, I think, from Bangalore, and
Yes.
Dr. Bhavna Gupta. Thank you so much for being with us here. All of you are welcome. Members of BMMA, members of Srishti Academy Group, and all the youngsters, the students who are participating today, welcome to all of you. Bhubaneswar Metropolis Management Association, direct affiliate of All India Management Association, has been around for more than 20 years now. We actually complete 25 years a year after. Because of the pandemic, unfortunately, all of us are going slow. And we have been working together with IMA, All India Management Association, on a continuous basis to have webinars. But I think things are getting slightly better now. Hopefully, we hope within the next month or two, we can have a physical meeting of BMMA and SADF together. And I and Saroj Babu, Mr. Saroj Sahu, chairman of the Srishti Academy Group, we have discussed many times, and I've also spoken with our executive vice president, Professor Gopal Naik, and with our past president, Mr. Sanjeev Hota. And the way we have chalked out is we will try to have one webinar every month. And then as things get better, then we'll go into the physical part of that. So I will not stand in between you and the speakers. Welcome once again, and let's hope that we continue doing webinars and our seminars as we always do. And I really look forward to all of you having a good evening. Thank you so much.
Now, I would like to request Professor Gopal Naik. He is the professor of XIME at the moment, but he is the past president of BMMA and he is the former director of IIIT Bhubaneswar.
He is presently
Under
presently the executive vice president of BMMA.
and the present executive vice president of BMMA. Under his leadership, IIIT Bhubaneswar has reached to the highest position of their ranking. And I'm sure Professor Naik will throw a light on this topic of evolving role of corporate leadership. He himself a leader, and I hope you will be all enlightened by his address. May I request Professor Gopal Naik to address.
Thank you, Saroj Babu, and thank you, Makbul. So we are having a meeting, I think, after nearly 2 years, I think, maybe more than 2 years. And,
no, just 2 years.
Just 2 years, just 2 years. So it's good to get back to our seminar mode. So I'll just talk about a few pointers in which the corporates can play an important role in terms of motivating the startups. So basically, there are three legs of this. One is the idea, the another one is the finance, and the third one is the revenue. So in terms of idea, there is this interesting story that most important IT companies, I mean older IT companies, they were formed between 1975 and 1980. And in fact, the people who formed it were born between 1955 and 1960. So when they saw how this happened, I mean, what is the reason? Because all this Microsoft, Apple, Sun Microsystems, and Oracle, and all these companies, they started around this 5 years time. And the people who started it, Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all this, they were born between 1955 and 1960. So they found that the reason is that Intel developed their microprocessor in 1970. And that gave an idea about building the microcomputer, right? All the PC. So the Apple came out with the PC, Microsoft came out with their, operating system, and so on and so forth. And the people before that did not have the opportunity, and people after that, they found it's too crowded, and therefore there's no point in going back. So people before that, they said, I will take a job in IBM, and people after that, they said, we will take a job in whichever other company. But this 5 years gave an opportunity because this new technology which gave rise to building newer systems. And if you see the internet era, all the companies that have been formed, the Google and so on and so forth, again, it happened within the next 5 years time, next 5-7 years time, this Facebook and Google and all these companies. So how does one get an idea? So it comes the technological revolutions and the inflex points come in waves. And when you are there, if you don't get the idea, probably you miss out on that idea. So today we have this, the data science and the AI and the IoT and things like that, the smartphone revolution and so on and so forth, it is happening. So we are probably at an inflex point. Probably if you wait for another 5-6 years, the things will saturate and then probably it will be passé and then no one will be interested in this. So to get an idea about what the product will be, what the service will be, what it will be, and how we can take the present available technology to make that system. So I think that is where a lot of organizations have a role to play. The universities, the research organizations, the corporates, and so on and so forth, everyone has a role to play. And we have to see in terms of ideating how the corporate leadership can help the startups in terms of coming out with ideas through these hackathons and then business proposal competitions and so on and so forth. How can we come out with an idea? So that's the first one. I think we should deliberate on that. The second aspect is financing. The startup people actually are not Birla and Ambani. Actually, they have no money. So they actually, very little, actually they have a job also, because most of them are just fresh students. In fact, the most successful answer are college dropouts don't even have a degree to start with. So how do you get your financing? Fortunately, today, so there is excess liquidity, right? I mean, there is too much money in the global financial system. And therefore, there is money floating around and you can get your money wherever. It's easier to get your money. So I was going through an article. There is this fellow who wanted to have a startup on dog walking, right? I mean, if you have a pet dog, you have to take it for a walk, and then for whatever reason you get tied up, you need somebody to help you to take a dog for a walk. So he wanted to start a business just like Uber and others, or Zomato, where you can ask for a dog walker, he will come and take your dog for a walk. So he approached some of these banks and others, and they said, okay, can you give me $1 million? They laughed at him. They said, what is this idea and why should I give you $1 million? Probably it is not worth $10,000 or maybe $100,000. And then he approached SoftBank. SoftBank said, we will give you $50 million. He was surprised. He said, while others are saying only $1 million, why do you want to give me $15 million? So SoftBank said that you're saying that I will start dog walking in Boston is not good enough. You have to start dog walking in the whole of USA and whole of Europe and whole of Japan and everywhere. And you should be the only company who should survive, right? I mean, there should be no other dog walking company. So your vision has to be global. It has to be big. It has to be huge. And only then we will finance you. If you're saying I will do it only in Boston or New York, we are not interested. So while financing is easy, right? I mean, but to have an appropriate vision, appropriate thought about it, and where we want to do it, how we want to do it, that becomes important. And in today's world, the bigger the idea, better it is. But often we are scared of having a big idea and thinking of scaling big, and that kind of becomes a problem. And the third aspect is having your revenue and getting your customers. I think that's a big challenge. So a lot of people, they come to me for their suggestions about what they should do. They said, okay, we have worked somewhere and we have seen how things work, and we know there is a potential for a product or a service. So we want to develop the service, and we want to. So there are these people, that one group who came to me, they wanted to do something in the energy sector, and by which they will do some energy auditing and save energy for companies by using IoT and AI and things like that. And they approached some private company. The private company said, okay, you do it, but they did it, and they went on for 2 years. And finally, the company said, we are not interested in your product. And by that time, they had run out of their initial money. They had no financing, and they sort of dropped out. And I think the getting a customer is probably one of the bigger challenges in terms of the unique startups becoming successful. In any case, the startups are designed to fail because only few will succeed and most will fail. But the formula, the mantra for the success, even though it is known, but it is not practiced well enough, and how we can do that. So the three things, that how do we create an idea of a product or a service, and how do we operationalize it, how do we get the financing for it, and how do we get my first customer. So in that, the government and the corporates play a big role. They can play a charitable role of saying, okay, for a startup, we can relax the rules of how do we do the procurement, and not to put those stumbling blocks, which will the startup will never qualify. If you say you should have 5 years experience, right? You will never have 5 years experience. So how do we do that? So I think these are the 3 points in which the corporate leadership can help people, because most of them, some have an idea, some have a finance, maybe some have a customer, but nobody has all the 3. And how do we get all the 3 components to make things work? I think that's something on which the deliberation can happen. So with these initial remarks, I will hand it over to our moderator. We can continue our discussion. The main speakers.
Thank you, Gopal sir. You have given a deep insight on the technological revolutions, as well as we are in an inflex point for this growth. And certainly, I hope it will be useful to all the listeners to know about the participants, that financial arrangement is a big challenge for the startups, And in this context, in our country, as we know, we have also in Odisha arranged 2-3 angel investors meet so that they can get little solutions on this area. But certainly the biggest challenge is getting the revenue, getting the customer and scaling up their product and revenue models and for their sustenance. And in all these aspects, corporate leadership has a big role for these startups to nurture them and to make them successful and to become a unicorn. I hope in this context, our next speaker is Sri Sanjeev Kota. He is the senior bureaucrat of the state, was the former member of Board of Revenue and former Chief Election Commissioner of Odisha and our past president of BMMA. Sir, and being the man of economics, I am sure we will get more inputs and valuable inputs from Sanjeev sir. Sir, may I request Sanjeev sir to address us.
Good evening. Good evening to everybody. Thank you for speaking kind words about me. My submission to both the honorable speakers would be to kindly first focus on the startup, then about unicorn, because the leadership in the present day ecosystem doesn't evolve overnight. It takes some time to evolve for running a startup and then going into unicorn. Point focused upon by Professor Gopal Naik is about the arrangement of finance. In this connection, I would like to just present to you that in the industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution, which has started right from the last decade of the last century and still ensuing, the overall concept of factor of production have undergone a total revolutionary change. Long back, classical economics, they had pointed out 4 factors of production as land, labor, capital, organization, which all students of economics. In the industry 4.0, the present ecosystem puts together a new concept of another set of factors of production, that is energy, resources, which includes data, finance, etc. Then the last 2 factors is technology and talent. So energy, resources, technology and talent have taken place of land, labor and capital organization. Now in a country like ours, where more than 50% workers work in the informal sector, we find from among them quite a few tiny entrepreneurs with very low base of skill, but high quality, high degree of commitment. Startups begin with no finance, and finance follows the leadership. As I told you, fusion of these 4 elements, energy, resources, technology and talent, fusion of all these 4 elements result in creativity, and that creativity takes the shape of a leadership to start a new enterprise by beating in the unknown track. Almost all startups are beating unknown track or unbeaten track, where they arrange their venture capital in the beginning with a lot of difficulty, but again proceed, being exposed to a series of risks in evolving a technology, adopting it, getting a product to be gradually widened throughout the global market. It's not a small challenge, it's a very big challenge. But even then, startups have come to stay in the 4th industrial revolution. They have come to stay, many of them have grown to unicorn by reaching a level of $1 billion US dollar. Problem now arises not the percentage of failure, but the percentage of success, and how the leadership, there is no leadership inborn with anybody, it evolves in course of hard work. So in this context, our 2 esteemed speakers will definitely educate us how the evolved leadership in the present day ecosystem by giving rise to an all. When you speak of more and more number of startups, particularly in context of India, kindly bear in mind, we lessen the percentage of workers working in the informal sector. They come to a formal sector. Gradually these startups will observe some of the low base skill people upgrading the skill while in work. So we look upon our esteemed speaker to highlight upon many points which they think most appropriate and will be immensely educated on this morning problem of morning issue rather, leadership evolution in transforming the startups to incomes. This is all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Certainly, your points, the four vital points, energy, resources, technology, and talent, fused, or the catalyst, maybe the creativity, induces all these startups to start their business.
I included energy.
Yes,
Energy,
yes, sir.
resources.
Sir, yes, sir. Energy, resources, technology, and talent embedded with creativity start
Fusion of all these four people.
Sir. And I'm sure that is the flavor through which all these startups are born, but for their sustenance, it is very, very essential. The corporate leadership for the business leaders, those who are already established, they should extend a hand of help or guidance for their sustenance. And you have rightly pointed out, we are sure, as you expected, all of these esteemed speakers, they will throw light on this. And one thing I would like to reiterate here, as for the survey in 2021, there are 153 unicorn in our country. And out of which only 3% are women entrepreneurs or women unicorns. And we are fortunate that we got two eminent speakers with us, both are women. I'm sure it is a very sheer coincidence, and we'll get more encouragement, and our participants, they will get lot of encouragement through their word of wisdom.
Okay.
May I request our director, Dr. G.T. Mishra, to welcome
now. Thank you, sir. Now we welcome Sangeeta Mahapatra to present. Actually, Sangeeta is an alumnus of prestigious NIT Rourkela. She worked with major MNCs like HP, Honeywell, Quest, Telcom, etc. A fast generation entrepreneur. Sangeeta started the Signature Attire in 2018 with a vision of providing cost-effective designers clothing at an affordable prices. The Signature Attire has moved from a tailoring office and daily designer wear to party and kids wear for the export market into the preferred manufacturers of some of India's garment market and overseas, as well reinventing itself as a customized clothing solution provider, best quality with the best price. Sangeeta is in advisory board of DSK Cinemas Karnataka and a co-producer herself. Being an angel investor and a strong believer in promoting new artists, new talents and skills, Sangeeta is also on the board of directors of IT startup, that is Ignosis IT Solutions Private Limited, Bangalore, and Staylogy Solutions also Private Limited, Bangalore. She is a classical dancer in Odissi. Sangeeta is a proud mother of two amazing kids. Now, I welcome Sangeeta, madam, to present on the topic. Please, madam.
Thank you, sir. And good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to present in front of all of you how a startup can actually scale up to become a unicorn one day. So this was also a question to me few years back when I started my entrepreneurial journey, unaware of the fact that we would soon be called as entrepreneurs in the days to come. Those days were primarily we were like startup and all that was never there in our mind. when we started off our journey. We were just thinking of one thing, that let's do it and let's create some employment for people, adapting to a very new lifestyle where we would be the dictators of our schedules, of our work hours, of the way that we would like to appraise someone, and get away from the very traditional and normal appraisal process that was followed in the then India. India has changed a lot since 2015-16 and today, 2021. So that was a day, and today is one of the day where we proudly tell that we have created an employment of the signature attire primarily. We have created an employment of around 42 people on rolls and contractors of quite close to 250 people from the company itself. So it's definitely a proud moment for us, and I also vision our company to get into the unicorn brand very soon as well, which is our goal, and I'm sure we are going to achieve it. However, when I speak about unicorn over here, what we literally understand by unicorn is probably labeled as a $1 billion company. It doesn't happen in a day. It happens with a lot of perseverance, with a lot of hard work, with a focus on how sustainable your company, your idea, your concept would be in years to come, in days to come. It's very, very, very important that whatever we do, whatever we strike at, has a vision, has a mission that works out for each and every one. We just do not work for ourselves. We work for the team. We work for the society. As entrepreneurs, one thing that always come into our mind, which is that what we do is going to set a new rule in the society, is going to set a new benchmark in the society, and we are going to give something back to the society, which probably the society doesn't have, or probably has a gap that we are going to fulfill. With that, I would just like to start up, since I understand that there are a lot of students out over here. The basic idea of a startup, what we exactly mean by the word startup, is actually conceived as a concept or an idea. So if we just look at something, if we come out with a new concept, if we come out with a new idea, that would lead to a lot of transformations, that would lead to a lot of validations, to a lot of number of steps, that whether this idea is going to be accepted. Is that idea providing a solution to the society? Is the idea a workable solution to some of the problems that we are having in the society? If we have certain things like that with us, then let us form a team, discuss our ideas, discuss our concept, conceive the steps to incorporate our ideas into solutions. The more the brains, the merrier it is, as you would always have devil's mind who are going to question you on the concept, who are going to question you on your ideas, and then you form something called as a startup. Having said that, even an independent idea, even an independent concept without a team also needs to be validated by oneself. So if you think through something and you do not want a team, or you do not have a team, you can question yourself. You can actually come up with your own market knowledge, the knowledge what you have regarding the market, what you have regarding the society, that whether my idea, whether my concept is going to be accepted by people. Once we question ourselves, once we think that, yes, this is something that is probably going to be something very new, different, or it is going to enhance what is already there in the market, then is when a startup is formed. With the formation of a startup, which is primarily the idea which has been conceived, that becomes our baby. So all the way, we just have to ensure that the baby grows up well, that the baby is accepted by each and everyone. The society becomes our family, and the family should accept the baby. And we have to focus on growing the baby in the right direction. Now, being a mother, I would always, and I always think that our startups are our own kids. Nobody asked us to be pregnant. Nobody asked us to go get into the market and start, give us a new solution. We are happy with what we have. But is that what I want to give back? We are creating a new solution. We are creating a new thing. And we want to accept it. We want people to accept our baby the way we have conceived. It is a very difficult thing to make people believe your idea, to make people adapt to an idea. But however, this is where we call entrepreneurs as salesmen as well. We sell our ideas, we sell our concept. That's when we start making people believe in our ideas and concept, and we try to get people as investors in our company, as working partners in our company. Here is the thing, that the most important knowledge that we should have is when we form a company, when we call it as a company, it is very important to know who the company is all about. Who do we have in the company? What is the company that we are forming? And the legalities involved in the company. A startup person would actually be more interested in generating business in the company. That is the time we should seek mentors. We should actually go ahead and seek for guide and people who are going to advise us that what kind of company needs to be formed. Should it be a private firm, proprietorship firm, LLP firm, OLP firm? There are so many things that is there as a part of the government policies that an entrepreneur should be well aware of. It's very difficult for any startup person to have a knowledge about everything. That's when the role of having someone with you as a guide, mentor, investor, working partner, whoever, whatever role they come up with, or your devil's mind, should come and hold your hand and take you to the journey of entrepreneurship. As well as an entrepreneur, we should be open to all kind of discussions, to all kind of thought process, which may otherwise seem to be very negative while we are starting out. But I would just like to say this: we should understand that all thoughts in a startup journey, in our entrepreneurship journey, should be welcomed, should be accepted, and should be worked upon. With that, the next step for a startup always gets into being more creative, being able to generate enough funding, enough finance. So I heard sirs telling that when a startup starts, it practically starts from a zero finance. It is hardly anything that we have when we start up, and we don't even know. We might just simply boil down our savings, our whatever we have, to make this company which is ever growing. Startup is more like gambling, is what I normally say. Once you step into it, it is very, very, very difficult to come out of it, because you have that, you call that word as junoon. You have that junoon to perform. You have that will that, no, I'm not stepping back. I have to prove it and make it a success. So we should, while we are very emotionally attached to any company, to our own company, equally, we should be very, very, very clear in our sight how we are going to manage our cash flows, how we are going to manage our client, our funding, our finances, are scaling up. There is so much attached to it when a startup gets into being a company. All these visions, all these steps can only come to a startup person or an entrepreneur only through a proper guide, proper knowledge, and proper awareness. This is very important that while we are focused about making our products an innovative product or a product that sells in the market or a product that is accepted by people, at the same time, it is very, very, very important that we should know how to run the company, how to run a business, how to scale it up, and how to expand. So funding and finance are very strong pillars of a company. The time when a funding comes, when the finance comes, when we arrange for the funding, when we arrange for any finance or we get into any kind of discussions, it's the most important part of a company. Day one or day zero of a startup or a company, there is no one who would like to even put in rupee 1 into any organization. The best of the people, the unicorns, everyone had gone through this particular situation. And that particular thing, we should be able to accept it. We cannot just think that we can raise funds through HNI, through angel investors, through VCs, and anything of that sort. We have to first show that, yes, this product, my idea, my concept is acceptable. And the moment when we do that once, it would be accepted by everyone that, yes, this is the company that I can bank upon. This is the company where we would like to put in our funds and expect a return. Not everybody wants their money to be returned as a 10x when they go for exit. Not everyone wants that. The point is that we all want, as for example, as an angel investor, wherein I have started being an angel investor, as an angel investor, when I put in money into a company, I believe in the person that, yes, he or she is going to do good for his or her brand. It's not about what I'm getting back. It is all about, if she does well, of course I will get a return back. If she doesn't perform, there is nothing that I would get in return, but at least I know that I could stand by during the time they needed me. So that's what we think as angel investors when we put in some amount of money. From the funding finance, the entrepreneur could start thinking about generating or creating a sustainable business. Sustainability in any form is very, very, very necessary. Even when we do software products, right? There are these 3S that we always think about: scalability, sustainability. All these are important words for any business or any product that we develop. All the products that we develop has to be scalable, has to be sustainable, and has to be maintainable. We should be able to support our product, we should be able to scale our product, and we should be able to make our product sustainable. It should stand by situations like COVID as well. That is something we have to generate, we have to think through, and this is why the word creativity is expected out of entrepreneurs. We have to be creative. We have to keep thinking through that how we can be present in the market even through tough times. And we have to ensure that, yes, we are able to generate bread for the people whom we have hired, who have believed in us and joined the startup community. With that, there is most important thing that we all should remember as entrepreneurs or the people who want to aspire or who are interested in being an entrepreneur is using the funds in the very right way. Sometimes seeing that, yes, we have this much of fund coming into the organization, or we have signed in this much of fund, or we are generating this much of money. Some entrepreneurs get carried away with the numbers or with the figures in the paper, and they start losing focus. We have to be very, very, very careful in using the funds in the right way. Funds coming in the company are not your personal fund. This is the fund generated for the company. It is, and it has to be used in the growth plans for the company. We have a very solid example of what happened to Snapdeal. Snapdeal bounced back as unboxed much later. So there are so many startups which have created some lessons for all of us to understand and implement. This is nothing new that we all try to, we are trying to impact over here. There are so many lessons already created. We have lessons from failed startups. We have lessons from successful startups which are now unicorns. We have lessons from OYO. So we have lessons from most of the startups. So these are something that we have to keep in mind while we are thinking of converting a startup to a company, then being a unicorn. We should also have expansion strategies planned at the right time. Expansion is very important to become a unicorn. Most of the unicorns are not a very new concept. Misho being a unicorn, Nykaa being a unicorn, they getting into IPOs, they are not so very new concept. These concepts have been there in the market for so long. But what made them to get into the unicorn blanket? It is all about their strategies, their expansion plans, their conversion of leads into customers, generating leads to their portal. So many other aspects are involved in being a unicorn. It is not just about the idea, it is all about the execution as well. So the most important thing is we have to also think about expansion, and entrepreneur should always have the light glowing in their head. When is that I need to get into new places, new areas, new categories, new products, lot of such stuff. How do I make my existing product something new? Just changing the cover itself. If you are a company who has a pillow, just change the cover. Most of the companies even change their logo just to get into the market again. Let's talk about Wipro. So it's all about reinventing, it's all about recycling, it's all about regenerating ideas. Keep looking at the wheel, keep looking at your vision, keep looking at your mission. All the points that we write in the vision, mission is not about to create an impression on the mind of the investors. It is all about to remind us where we were, where we are, and what we want to be, which is the most important thing in anyone. If we take pride in saying Ambani, he also had a vision, his father had a vision. So that vision needs to be executed phase-wise, step-wise, without forgetting the origin and the base of the startup. Yes, as a startup, we had this. When we are stepping onto the ladder, this is how I want my startup to be formed. Also, the vision and mission can go under changes. Please be very, very, very clear about these changes Make your people understand the changes and let them adapt and accept these changes. Take criticisms on the way, accept devil's mind, and learn and incorporate. At the end of the day, an entrepreneur is always the decision maker. There is a founder, there is a co-founder. There are multiple founders, yet there is one person who had started it, who thought through it, and he is definitely the decision maker or the influencer. So we should all respect, when we have multiple people, we should all respect the thought process of a person who had started the organization. So a bonding between the team, the right team, is also a pillar and a key to becoming a unicorn and being a success. Team really matters. Even when you do not have investors, the 4 people in your team would actually can go and beg and get money for the company to survive. So the right team matters when you plan to grow, when you plan to start. So have the right team, accept criticisms, and be a part of the team when the team is struggling to survive and sustain. Then we also need to know when is the right time to strike into the market. You have a product, you have an idea, you also might have generated a funding, finance, whatever it is. And there are so many government policies these days, and a lot of NGOs also who are coming ahead and supporting the startups. There are so many ways that a startup is now supported, which was not there 5 years back even, or 10 years back, or 20 years back. But then understanding when is the right time to strike into the market. That is again with the help of visionaries, with the help of strategists, with the help of guide, mentors, and advisors, would actually help entrepreneurs to understand when is the right time to launch. We cannot probably go ahead and launch a flashy brand during the times of COVID. That would probably make no sense. So you would have not seen any, hi-fi brand launch for the past 2 years, but you would have seen brand launches happening for homeware, for casual wears, for we called it as day wears. These are the things that were launching. Kid wears, those were the things which were launching in the market, because those were the things everybody knew that people now working from home would probably need. You would not see party wears getting launched, because of course there were hardly any parties. So why would somebody spend money and launch a party wear into the market? So these are certain things that we should understand, and we should allow people to come and let us know what is and when is the right time to get into the market. Technology and accepting changes, most important thing. With COVID, most of the company have gotten into digitization and started practicing digital methods and technologies to enhance their product. It could be marketing, it could be manufacturing. In fact, today in garments as well, we have incorporated a lot of automation, even though it comes with a cost very dear to every manufacturer. But this is what is becoming a future for the company, all the companies. So let's accept the change. Let's dare to put in some extra money from our pocket to accept this change and let the change become a source of revenue in days to come. So this is again, we as entrepreneurs, we have to be always updated with the technologies, with the changes that are happening in the market related to our field and industry that where we are launching our products in. So technology and changes are very important for any company owners to be well aware of. We just cannot depend on our team to come and inform us, but an awareness by own is very, very, very important. We also believe that somebody has to trust you, somebody has to have confidence in you to get into the success ladder. My team should trust me, my people should trust me, and I should trust them back. I should have confidence in the team. How do we get trust and confidence? Is through education. Education is the most important thing which no one should actually avoid. Even the people, all the founders, we have so many, founders who are like a billion-dollar company by themselves. After a certain stage, they have also gone back and read a lot of books, read a lot of biographies, read a lot of information. They have gotten a lot of information and understood how to work on themselves, how to groom themselves, how to work as a part of the team. A lot of these stuff, education should be something that should not be neglected by anyone. It cannot be ignored. Today, the education system in India is improving a lot. They are creating career-based education system. They are implementing startup incubators. They are implementing many such things in colleges, and a lot of these private colleges as well are showing interest in building up the entrepreneurial skill set in people. This is very important, and this is something we should never ever ignore or demean or say that, this is just for the sake of it. This is very important, and I urge all of the team over here, all the youngsters who are over here, be very serious with academics, be very serious with our education system, and believe in our education system. Believe it. Whatever changes needs to be amended, I'm sure people over here and people out there are working out on this, and they are bringing in modern thought process to the education system. However, I still believe that the age-old education system was still a wonder and is still a wonder and is probably going to be the best ever. However, I would just say that accept changes, accept technology, digitization, modern thought process, yet our roots has to be still there. All of us needs to be grounded. All of us need to know that entrepreneurship is not just about having a lifestyle. Entrepreneurship is also creating a lifestyle for so many, creating an employment for so many. Bringing in bread and butter is no man's joke. Enjoy yours and provide that enjoyment to a lot of other people. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, madam, for your thought-provoking words. And those words were all coming from your experience. It is not quoted from anywhere. You say that with a greater perspective for the society, your belief for creating some situations and new, you use this terminology particularly, that you need to create some new benchmark for the society. So that becomes one's driving force for creating a startup or transforming a startup to a unicorn, because a bigger goal is before they are you. And you have amply given focus on education, and while also not forgetting the age-old ethics and value system that is there in our education system for so long, but side by side also accepting the changes and adopting the technology that you tell in the same breath. And of course, it is, I will say that it is a almost 360-degree presentation as far as the startup journey is concerned of an entrepreneur. When you say that for an entrepreneur, a light should always be glowing in his mind. That means that one should be constantly reinventing, thinking, and having a watch and word over the entire situation and the entire. And it's an wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, madam. And now I would request Dr. Bhavna Gupta. I'll give a very, very quick intro of Bhavna. Dr. Bhavna Gupta is a professor and a scientist working on understanding immune disorders. She has guided a number of PhD students and published many research articles. She is also the founder director of Debik Food and Beverages Private Limited, which is the first and only company of Odisha manufacturing instant ready-to-drink tea, coffee, and other beverages. They use technologies that are used to prevent addition of preventives, colors, and additives in their food products. So I would request Bhavna Gupta, before going, before Dr. Gupta starts, it prompts me to an idea, actually 4 or 5 days back, because everything is idea today. If you are ideating and your idea is good, and it can solve the problem of the society, as Shangita madam used to say, that it should cater to the greater requirement of the society. In fact, I had a very bad cough and cold 7 days back, 8 days back. So I was used to take 2 days I was at home, weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I was used to have this warm water. So I was also moving in the city for some of my works. So I was carrying a warm water bottle. Then it gets cold after some time when moving here and there. So I thought there is a cold chain in our system. We get all types of cold drinks, but can I not get a warm bottle of water? There is no hot chain. So I discussed with some young people in the evening. Is it feasible to establish a hot chain wherein you can interchange your metal bottle, because the plastics may not hold the temperature for a long time, and you can carry the metal bottles and exchange it, and again, like it is a refill. And then the young people said that the cost of cooling is lesser than the cost of heating. So whether this will be breaking even or not, it needs a quite long research. I said that, no, this is not feasible and all that. So it is just an idea. So ideas should take shape, and the young people, particularly the students, those who are attending today's webinar, they should always think of having ideas for a greater cause and for solving simple human requirements. So that is the startup, that is the start of the startup. So with these words, I would request Dr. Gupta to make her presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mishra. And coming to your idea, I think we have small hot water dispensers. So everywhere when you go and dispense cold water, there is a small tap attached there as well, where you can dispense hot water as well. So it's just that people don't put that, electric connection there.
Okay,
but it is yet available.
Okay. So my idea is not feasible. It is already there.
Yeah, but considering the population of India, I think 50 such ideas would be very, very potential.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, all of you. It is actually my honor and my proud feeling that I am kind of meeting 6 very, very prominent personalities of Odisha. So thank you so much, Gopal sir, Saroj sir, Ali sir, and Pradeep sir, and Mishra sir, and Sanjeev sir. I mean, I don't think students need us, even if they, or any potential entrepreneur, if they go and talk to you for 30 minutes, I think they will be well sorted. They would not need any kind of, motivation from us. You are always there for them. I'm sure for that. So thank you, Sangeeta. It was lovely hearing you. And for students and potential entrepreneurs, I was actually looking for this forward for this webinar, and it's a great pleasure to see you all. Because for an entrepreneur, what could be a better day than this when there are so many people waiting to hear you? So I've been a professor and a teacher teaching biotech to MTech students, and have also been working as a scientist guiding students for their PhD. Believe me, it is a very, very satisfying profession. I've learned a lot from my students and I'm still learning. We do a lot of trial and face many errors, but that's part of being a researcher. It's an amazing way of learning new things and applying your knowledge. And then I have been also associated with some technology business incubators, wherein we mentor people for entrepreneurship, but I never thought that I could be one by myself. Because I was so well settled in my teaching and scientist role that, being an entrepreneur was kind of out of my mind. But I come from a very business oriented family, and I think that epigenetic or genetic environmental effect was still there for me. And my Dr. Suar, who holds TBI in KIT University, he always told me कि गुप्ता जी पीछे है तो फिर business तो होगा ही. So it was kind of that thing that motivated me to think about being an entrepreneur. But it was kind of one fine day when we identified the solution of a problem and thought of building a product upon it. So because I have been a very, very avid traveler, both for work and for fun, and also a very hardcore tea lover, that too Indian tea lover, where I do not like to have my tea with deep tea bags and adding water and then milk powder and sugar and having a very bland taste. So I thought, why not, if I can make something which I can carry with me, which is very easy. It's kind of a pocket tea, always readily available, and not, it's hassle free, and I don't have to pay a lot for it. So with that problem, we thought of building up we thought of trying for a solution. And then we also use, at Davik, we use different biotech techniques to prepare all these teas and coffees without any preservatives, colors, and additives. So, my background knowledge of biotechnology, I could use for developing a product that could be very well, accepted in the market. And because tea is a religion in India, I think that could also help me to give my ROI. So during my last few years of being an entrepreneur, it's completely my personal experience. I've realized that we need to focus a lot on self-awareness. So every entrepreneur, as also Sangeeta mentioned, is the sole reason of success of his or her business. And for that, every one of us need to understand their strengths and weaknesses, and then accordingly align them with their business core competencies. So this will help us to perceive others also accurately, build a very good team, and make better decisions. And using my strengths and weaknesses, I can also create my personal branding. I can harness my inner strengths, and then I can be a good brand ambassador for my company. So that's also very, very important. I can have a very good company, I can have a very good product, but I may not be able to present it well to the audience. I may not be able to generate awareness to my clients as well. So for that, I really have to work on my strengths, my weaknesses, and then align them as well. Generally, we hire a public relation officer or someone who can talk on my behalf. But I believe that as an entrepreneur, I should take this responsibility on myself. We need to polish our soft skills. We need to connect with our clients. We need to build relations. This will really help in retaining the clients as well and build an amazing goodwill for us. I may have a very good team of people working with me, but I personally go for all my first meetings because I think that this way we remember each other, we share positive vibes, and we also build a very good rapport among us. So I think we should have as many one-to-ones as possible. We should call our clients, take their feedback, wish them, etc., etc. So reconnection is the key word. generally, what we do is we call our friends, our relatives very often, and we say, how are you, and how was the day. So after the call, they generally get so happy. And this kind of happiness is also felt when a seller calls the buyer. So we catch each other's energy, we build a relationship. And in India, mostly things work on goodwill, word of mouth, good relationships. Chai pe charcha, man ki baat, let's meet over a coffee. These things really, really work. So move with a beautiful smile, have a positive aura, but of course with confidence on your product or a prototype that you have developed. But above all, every entrepreneur should know in and out of his product or service, a thorough understanding of every aspect of how the machine works, how to troubleshoot it, how to monitor the progress, etc. It's every smallest thing needs to be understood before we can proceed to present it to anyone. So be thorough to what you are presenting. And then we always, say change is the only constant. And I'm sure that we must have heard this line many times. But an entrepreneur is almost every time is very, very afraid of changes, be it administration or infrastructure or maybe changes in teammates. But an entrepreneur needs to cope up with the increased competition in the global economy, in expanding markets, they need to be open to new ways of doing business, and also a very, very important task of keeping up with the latest technology. And I'm sure for this, change is inevitable. So we need to read about new techniques, new technologies that we can use to make better products, to make better packagings, to make presentations better. So, I just would like to say that, being an entrepreneur is not easy at all. It needs a lot of patience, a lot of dedication. You need to be on toes all the time. But at the same time, it's fun and very, very satisfying. As Gopal sir said, that idea, finance, and revenue generated are three main pillars of being an entrepreneur. So idea, definitely, you need to really, really work upon them. A lot of homework, a lot of research needs to be done before you come up with an idea and present it to someone. Finance for a company, as Sangeeta said, there are a lot of opportunities for startups right now, be it corporate funds, accelerator programs, Smriddhi, and MHRD resources also give a lot of funding. It's a National Innovation Fund also available. There are startup funds. So there are a number of opportunities for a startup to present a good prototype for a good grant money. So it is not loan, it is generally a grant fund that is given to you. You don't have to give it back, but then you have to use it in a very, very better way. Then again, revenue generated, yes, it's your smart way of working. You can always have a revenue generated. Of course, it takes a lot of time for an entrepreneur, for a startup to generate, to come to a break even. But yes, patience and perseverance are the keywords here. So from my experience, I'm relatively, as compared to Sangeeta, I'm a relatively new entrepreneur, and I think I have very little, experience till now. But whatever I have learned is that your confidence, your working techniques, your abilities, your presentation, your product for the most, it works wonders. But yes, so have a great time working for yourself and for the society. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam, for your advice on the budding entrepreneurs for having confidence, abilities in their work and presentation, and also you focused on soft skill, and you have nicely explained your entrepreneurial journey. Thank you very much, madam, for your presentation. Now over to Jyotisman.
Yes, sir. Actually, the next we will have some question answer session. I request our valuable participant to have some questions. If you have any queries, you can ask to our honorable speakers. They will be sharing some thoughts with you. Please. You can use also the chat box for the questions.
anyone can unmute and they can say their name and their very brief intro, and they can also mention to whom they are asking the questions.
Probably, sir, actually, there is no certain questions from the audience side, so we can proceed further. I would request our Chief Advisor as well as the Director of Srishti Academy Development Foundation and the Director of Srishti Academy of Management, Professor Dr. Gangadhar Misra, sir, to give some expert comment on this particular webinar. Please, sir.
Thank you, Jyotisman, for giving me this opportunity. Actually, startup leadership is itself a subject which I have found that is being taught in some leading universities as a course, startup leadership program, wherein I have zeroed in 9 areas which are most important for. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes,
yes,
sir.
Am I
you are
audible to all of? Yeah. I have zeroed in 9 areas which are most important for startup leaders to focus. Of course, during the course of discussion by all the eminent speakers that has been touched upon, to have a clear vision and inspire others with it. When we tell this that we should have a clear vision, it correlates to what Sangeeta madam said, that it should cater to a greater objective for the society. And that should be enshrined in the goal and vision of the company or the startup. So you need to have an overriding purpose for your business and be able to share it with others, employees, investors, and customers, and get them to buy in your ideas. So one can begin by thinking about one's business purpose and unique strengths, and company's vision can always help to motivate and involve the staff, all the stakeholders. It should be quite motivating. The vision for your organization, the vision for your startup, that is the starting point. And the second most important is to set clear goals and stay focused. It has also been touched upon. And third and most important is how to communicate clearly. Because in this world, many problems arise because of communication gap. So a leader has to truly communicate with the partners, employees, contractors, vendors. The communication line has to be very, very transparent and clear. And the third most important area is listening or effectively giving and receiving the feedback. The successful startups, those who have become unicorn, we can start discussing about Apple. When it started and its entire journey is customer focused. It has always listened to its customers very, very carefully and from a very close angle. So receiving the feedbacks from all angles, that is, establish your openness to learning and improving. That will shed, we have to shed our ego as a successful entrepreneur venturing into become an unicorn. One has to shed ego and get others to do well. And also, the model of receiving feedback has to be systematized. And this is the age of information and communication. So feedback plays a very, very important role, because the same customers, the same stakeholders will educate us to become bigger. So we have to take small clues even and work on that, so that creates a resonance in the organization. And the other areas that are very, very important for the startups are to know your strength and weakness. It has also been touched upon by all the speakers. And one should know how and when to call outside business expert, because we are not expert in everything, but we should not also shy upon taking experts advice or consultants role or consultants advice at appropriate time. So that call is very important. How to know when to call outside business experts for escalating your business to the next level. Next is to create a culture of teamwork. And the other two areas are accountability and the efficiency to manage cost, because that is closely related to finance, funding and financing. So as an entrepreneur, one has to have a eagle's eye over the cost of doing the business, where to contain the cost. So as as Sangeeta madam said that we are getting funding and a startup is getting funding, but funding is not yours, is not for you. It is funding for the company. So the cost of acquiring the fund as well as containing the cost in the operational process is very, very important for a startup. So these are some of my thoughts for the startup to become in their journey to become unicorn. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insightful thoughts. Now I welcome our chairman, sir, of Sushti Academy Management, as well as the director of Sushti Academy Development Foundation, Engineer Saroj Kumar Sahu, sir, to put some light on this topic of this evolving role of corporate leadership in transforming startups to unicorn. I welcome you, sir.
Saroj Babu, I think you are muted. You have to unmute and speak.
Sorry. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Mabul Bhai. After a very long time, he has suggested for this webinar, because in BMMA, for quite a long time, we are not connected with each other. And the good guidance of Sanjeev Bhaina, we picked up this topic. On the first side, I'm an entrepreneur. I started my journey after passing civil engineering way back in 1987. This is 34th year. I spent around 3 decades, and I have seen the changes and the importance of adaptability and evolving ideas putting into the business. So many factors, all has been discussed by my panelists and the experts. Now, I'll put into this perspective that in the earlier days of my days, it was almost a brick and mortar company to establish. And the model of enterprise was quite different in those days. It was extremely difficult even to get a DIC certificate to start the business, and even to open a bank account. You have to move around behind the bench clerk of the DIC office to start the enterprise and to get a number, a DIC number. However, the time had changed. Time has changed very rapidly during the last decade. And now the scenario is completely different. There is ecosystem. Government agencies there, incubators are there like us, Sushti Academy Development Foundation. We are one of the incubator. Like us, there are around 19 or 20 incubators being recognized by Government of Odisha to facilitate the startup business. Apart from this, as we all discussed here, the grant fund or the fund which are being given by the Government of India as well as the state government like Acceleration Fund, National Innovation Fund, and many other funds are available to our startups. In addition to that, there are many venture funds are available, as well as angel investors are available in all India perspective. Of course, not in Odisha much available, but we are connecting the national level angel investors with Odisha startups. Out of this, the context here is how to bring in the idea into a successful business model and to develop the product in a for a sustainable business, its scalability and its maintainability in the market. As well as the today's topic is how to transform the startup to a unicorn. It's important for the expansion, certainly, because a startup over a period of time.
Tu sedi chida. No le sedi bo.
Sir,
Chair turn.
sir, please.
Oh, sorry.
So but in this connection, Bhavana Madam has given a very valid input that reconnection with the customers by self and communicating with the customers is really very, very essential at this stage. And I'm sure the evolving role of corporate leader is need to be discussed a bit in this platform. The role of exemplary contribution we have all read by Ratan Tata and Ajit Premji and many other successful businessmen. They are entered into this, helping the startups as an angel investor. But in my view, the evolving role of a corporate leader is required to a startup is certainly expert advice. And before that, they require a mentorship and helping in arrangement of funds. Here in our incubation center, we have 6 startups. We have day to day, we are in touch since last 3.5 years. What do we understand? There is a successful startup with us. He has seen the light of the day within a year of 2 years with his all hard effort and putting innovation, because in initial days, he doesn't know how to prepare a business document, how to pitch in before the prospective investor, or he doesn't know how to prepare a good PPT to present his business. All those are being helped by the incubation center, by our people, so that he could pitch it before the prospective customer. Then after getting some business, he presented before a successful for his fund, and he got clicked. And just 6 months back, he has actually got the wings. Now he has established his own office. We have seen the journey of that entrepreneur. He's into the entertainment business. So it happens, it is so important, the role of a corporate leader, those who can help these startups in all these fields, initially for mentoring in all these aspects, as well as helping for arranging funds, as well as the expert advice. And certainly this will give the confidence and the business direction and the new dimension to their business, which may convert them to a unicorn. But certainly the concern in our country is the mortality rate of this startup is only 5%. We all very seniorly people are available here. I'm sure this discussion will give a lot of input to the listeners or the participants, those who are here, to start their journey, because in our country, the unemployment is in its acute stage. It is 6.9% at this stage. So let us wish all these young participants, let them become job giver instead of job seekers. Thank you. I have my side.
Thank you so much, sir, for your very inspiring message. Now it's time for the vote of thanks. So Once again, a very good morning to all present over here. It's such
Good
an honor
evening.
for me. Yes, sir. So it's such an honor for me to present the vote of thanks to all the dignitaries present over here for this wonderful webinar, for making this webinar a grand success. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed speakers for the contributions. At first, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Syed Makbul Ali, the working president of BMMA. Sir, your positive energy always attracts us, and we motivate ourselves to make this webinar a very successful one. Thank you so much, sir. I also extend my sincere thanks to Professor Gopal Krishna Kumar Naik, the Professor of XIMB, and the Executive Vice President of BMMA, Bhubaneswar. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your insightful message to all of our budding entrepreneurs and all the panelists. I extend my deep gratitude to Sri Sanjeev Hota, sir, the past president of BMMA, Bhubaneswar, for your sharing some interesting facts on this topic, giving some valuable ideas to our students as well as to the panelists and the audiences. I would also like to express deep sense of gratitude to our both the dynamic and eminent lady speaker, Ms. Sangeeta Mohapatra, the MD and founder, the Signature Attire, Bangalore, Karnataka, and Dr. Bhavna Gupta, the founder director, Devik Food and Beverages Private Limited, Bhubaneswar. Thank you, madam, for giving such valuable time and sharing some valuable thoughts with us in this webinar. And thanks to our chief advisor, Dr. Gangadhar Misra, SADF, for his expert comment and valuable suggestions. And at last, always my favorite, our chairman, sir, Engineer Saroj Kumar Sahu, the director as well as the chairman of Srishti Academy of Management and Srishti Academy Development Foundation, for sharing his valuable thoughts. And he is the man behind the screen who always motivate us to conduct such type of webinar. And at last, thanks to Almighty for his hidden hand for helping us to make this event a grand, successful one. Thank you so much, all of you. Namaste.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Saraj Babu. Thank you, madam. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bhavna ma'am, we'll be in touch with you.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sangeeta madam
Thank
has
you
left
so
a
much.
little earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
close the
We'll
Bye-bye.
catch
meeting.
up with you later.
Babul bhai, bhul thila kshama karna be.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it was very nice, especially both the speakers, Dr. Gupta and Ms. Mahapatra, spoke very well, very well.
Thank you.
I
It
mean,
was
I
a
think
good
when
startup
you-
after 2 years, as Gopal Bhai has said. A good startup after 2 years.
You
To
see,
move on.
we have got a walking, talking startup with us right here, Saroj Babu.
Again.
Right, right.
It does take a lot of courage would be the right word to go into a startup. I worked with almost overseas, I've worked with 3 of them. And I'll tell you, it's not only the vision, it's the sustenance and the perseverance. You have
Yes.
to keep pushing. Sometimes it gets Gopal, what Saraj Babu said, and I think Dr. Gupta and Ms. Mahapatra must hear this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the point. One situation was when you go to the DIC office, the District Industries Center, to get yourself registered. That would
Again.
take something like a week.
Again.
Don't listen to you, say document, so many times they put us into such an embarrassing position. We started, when I started a cold storage unit and this thing way back in the 70s, I had to go, I think I remember it 72 times or 71 times to the OSFC, Odisha State, to get
Correct.
finance only about 1,80,000 or 2 lakh rupees. And didn't get it. They were
The
they used to
license
always say,
Raj, the license Raj.
some of the position everyone wants the
Again.
money.
नहीं Babul bhai, मैंने DIC ऑफिस रे ଆପଣ ସେ ଯୋଉ ବେଞ୍ଚ ରେ ବସିବା ପାଇଁ ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଲାଗିବନି, ସେ ଷ୍ଟୁଲ ରେ ବସିବାକୁ ଇଚ୍ଛା ଲାଗିବନି, ସେଥିରେ ପୁଣି ସିଏ ଆମ ଭଳିଆ ୟଙ୍ଗ ପିଲା 24 ବର୍ଷର ପିଲାକୁ ସେ ପଠେଇବ ଗୋଟେ ପାନ ଟିକେ ଆଣିକି ଆସିବ ତ।
You are right, I've done it.
It starts with the pan.
Dr. Gupta, do you understand Oriya?
No, no,
Yes,
Dr.
sir,
Gupta.
I understand, but I don't speak.
That's okay. What he's telling actually is the fact. You know, you
Really?
really lose the
Remember-
enthusiasm to do any startup.
नहीं, remember that dialogue of Amitabh, पहले पान फिर काम.
Okay.
So I think we'll call it a
It's
evening.
great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Gopal.
you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I will
Thank
close
you.
the
Thank you,
meeting now.
ma'am.
I'll close the meeting.
Saroj Babu, Dr.
I'll share
Misra,
I'll share the recording and send you over email.
I'll appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, thank
So, do you have Saroj Babu's email address? No,
I
You
don't
send it
have,
to me,
I will send
I'll
it to you
circulate.
and you can send it in turn.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Good
evening.
night.
so much, sir.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.